Yo, this chapter of Dragon Ball Super, chapter 48, has one of the best openings of any of the previous chapters we have seen so far. It really feels like Toyotaro has put a lot of thought, and I mean a lot of thought, and this is when you feel like somebody puts his creative output is being put in their art or in their craft. And you can feel that there was some major improvements. And when I say major improvements, I'm talking about the little details. If you remember in my previous chapter reviews, I've spoken a lot about details, and a lot of it, you can have the idea. Like Dragon Ball GT, I'm not slating Dragon Ball GT. I'm not bringing Dragon Ball GT to bring it down, but I'm just using an example here. Dragon Ball GT is one of those shows that had a lot of great ideas, but it didn't have the execution. It didn't have the attention to details. And I feel like Toyotaro is like within the first few pages, pays a lot of attentions and a lot of homages to a lot of different instances that happened, which makes for a very satisfying experience. For example, you see Majin Buu derailing Moro's attention with his chocolate beam attack, and you think he's using the chocolate beam attack to actually turn Moro to a piece of chocolate or some sort, but he used that to divert his attention in order to jump on him and give him, like, lay a smackdown on him, like just fucking hammer him with just punches. And that scene itself is very reminiscing, and it's actually not just reminiscing, it's paying homage to the time where Majin Buu did almost the exact same thing to Majin Vegeta when he fought against him. So seeing Majin Buu being an evil guy and doing that to one of the good guys, then later on seeing him being a good guy and then using the same thing against a bad guy, it feels so satisfying, if you know what I mean. It's honestly very similar to when Frieza used to do really horrible stuff in Planet Namek to the Dragon Team or the Z Fighters, what do we want to call them. He used to hit them with the death beams, and he used to do a lot of evil stuff towards the heroes. And then you see him being on the side of the heroes and doing stuff with the people who are against the heroes. So that's kind of like a similar way, conflict of interest that was really interesting to see. But more than that, just I really like the respect that they gave Majin Buu in this chapter. It really felt like the power up. I hope that this carries the power up that he did have in the anime, because like in the anime, since we saw him training, it would make a lot more sense that he's this powerful. But it's also really sad that you see that he has this much potential and he wasn't in the Tournament of Power. But I made a video about that, and it makes sense because he has so much abilities, and it will be hacks if he was there. And just like what I said with the attention to detail, there's this scene where Moro blasts Majin Buu's face, and that's really satisfying. It's one of the things, because we know what Majin Buu's capable of, so seeing someone else's reaction towards Majin Buu's regeneration abilities and just his shenanigans in general, the things he does, his personality, being brought to Dragon Ball Super, it was felt very good. It's not like a lot of people would tell you, yeah, Majin Buu's getting the spotlight, Majin Buu, he's getting the shine. Guys, it's not about the shine. It's about how you execute the shine, and how Majin Buu was brought to life in this chapter is different from the previous chapter, because a character being present doesn't always mean that it's a good thing. So it depends on what you do with that character. If you can able to give the reader a satisfying experience, and when I say satisfying experience, I mean a way to connect the viewer with the character. And this felt like a moment where you can connect with Majin Buu, who used to be a previous villain, and so you're seeing like two villains. One of them is an ex-villain fighting against each other. It was really good experience to watch, and I just like when Majin Buu extends his hands and he puts his face in his hands. Like, the shot is beautiful. Let me just show it to you guys here. It's just freaking amazing. I really love that moment. I think it's my favorite moment in the chapter so far. So I really like this kind of stuff. But what's also more fascinating than that is Goku and Vegeta's reaction in addition to Moro's. So it's really interesting to see that Majin Buu has able to unlock more of his latent potential because of the hypnotist that he had. But enough about Majin Buu for now. I really want to talk about Moro and his personality. It seems that he's a really prideful character, and it seems that he values his own strength and his own abilities, and it seems that he has like a much, like obviously like any other villain, he has another transformation or like a higher ceiling to his power, but it seems that he believes that nobody can stop him. And despite what Majin Buu's doing, Moro seems like he has a trick or two up his sleeve, and he's not easily defeated. So it's kind of frightening. I don't know how strong this guy is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be like Ultra Instinct level. If he's Ultra Instinct level, then that means he's automatically stronger than Beerus, in my opinion, because I don't think Beerus has mastered Ultra Instinct level. Like, I can also, like, say that Broly is stronger than Beerus, but that's a different debate. What I'm trying to say here is that I hope they actually explore this a lot more with Moro and his power scaling compared to the other characters, because having a proper power scaling, and I said that about the much earlier reviews that I made for the chapter 45 and 46, that we need to have like a sense of scale of where this character stands, so we can actually know we can know the danger, and we can know what are the consequences of his action. Like, it felt like for a lot of the Goku Black arc and all the other different arcs, Frieza arc and the Torment of Power arc, it really felt like there are a lot of characters, like for example Whis, characters who more often than not have the solution to end the problem. For example, we had Whis in the previous arcs, where he would intervene in order to have the solution. For example, when Frieza destroyed Earth, Whis was able to reverse time, basically dealing with the consequence like nothing happened and giving the characters a second chance. And I know we had something like Dragon Balls, but having Dragon Balls in addition to Whis, that feels like it really feels like they're devaluing the entire journey like we had. And speaking of being devalued, I think the Goku Black arc was incredibly devalued because of that, because we had the Omni King who comes at the end and erases Trunks' timeline, which really diminishes most of the things that we've been through, and not just like the things that we've been through in the Goku Black arc, but also Trunks' story in general, when he came from the future to save the past in order to gain the information to save his future and save his mother. So seeing like his mom being killed and everyone being killed, it feels like Dragon Ball Super was taking like a massive dump on Trunks' story in the Cell arc. But back to the story at hand. When I first saw the manga chapter alluding that everything got dark, the first thing that went to my mind was, oh shit, it's the Frieza soldier. But then I was like, oh shit, the Frieza soldier guy cannot speak Namekian, therefore he cannot summon Porunga. And this is where Toyotaro doesn't fuck up in the series. I know, like, it seems like I'm writing Toyotaro, but I'm really loving this chapter. Like, I'll criticize Toyotaro when he messes up, which he does a lot, so don't worry. But in this chapter, he pays attention to detail, and what he did was he made the Frieza soldier being able to control one of the Namekian kids in order to summon Porunga for himself. So I really like that. I really like that he didn't mess up and he didn't forget that you need to be able to speak Namekian in order to summon Porunga. So Cranberry, the ex-Frieza soldier, does make his first wish to heal himself, which I thought that was clever, even though time is of the essence. Then he tries, of course, selfishly, he wants to make the wish for himself, which makes sense. But Moro intervenes and he tells him that, hey, if you don't do this, then you'll be fucked. So he listens to them and he gives him his full magic power, and you see this transformation like a huge wave. And Moro is such a freaking savage, and this is what I like. I hope the anime illustrates his strength, illustrates that instance of power when he gains all that power like in an instant. Like, it's like he used instant transmission, and it just goes and he just impales poor Cranberry, like just kills him. Poor guy. Like, obviously, like, he's just a dumbass. Like, obviously he was gonna die. It was written in the stars. But I really liked how absolutely ruthless he is. Like, this is more ruthless than Frieza. Like, I know Frieza in Dragon Ball Z is really ruthless, so I'm comparing him to Dragon Ball Super Frieza, which is like Nickelodeon Frieza compared to the DBZ Frieza. So this guy is just like, the way he does it is so freaking brutal, and I liked it. I hope Dragon Ball Super does not remove, because if Dragon Ball Super removes all of this, everybody's gonna say the manga's better. No matter what the manga does from now on, everybody's just gonna enjoy the manga a lot more if they don't introduce the blood again and all this this stuff. Like, I don't have no idea this obsession with the new Dragon Ball content being aimed towards kids. Like, I'm sorry, Toei Animation, but the kids are not the ones that are gonna make you money. The adults, us, the guys who are they're old enough, they're the ones who they're gonna appreciate the anime, are gonna put money into anime. Because you know what the kids are gonna do? They're gonna go watch Attack on Titan, they're gonna go watch One Punch Man, they're gonna watch other animes which satiates their hunger for I won't say violence, but something like a little bit mature. So I really don't dislike this outlook that, oh, let's make everybody babies, let's make it aimed for the kids, and that way we're gonna make them sell merchandise. No, you're not gonna sell merchandise that way. You're gonna sell merchandise by improving your product, not try to aim it somewhere else. But yeah, that's a different story. So I'm just saying that I really enjoyed this, and this chapter is my favorite so far, and I really liked it. Yeah, but the chapter ends with Moro making his third wish, which, to be honest, I'll be honest with you guys, I have a little idea with what a wish is. Like, I could think about it right now and probably figure it out, but honestly, I do not know. So, I'm tempted right now to tell you guys what do you think the wish is, but I know most of you guys would know, and I don't want any spoilers. So trust me, I have no idea what the wish is for now. So that's really exciting. I mean, it could be eternal youth, but then again, we would see a physical change, but since there was no physical change, it's really difficult to know what he wished for. So I hope the manga keeps up the pace. I really enjoyed this, and if you guys also enjoyed this, then please like the video, tell me your thoughts about it, and tell me what you think about this review. Did you guys enjoy this? Is it gonna get better? And what do you think about Moro? Do you think he's the best villain so far? And do you think that Toei is going to remove the blood? I hope not. So tell me all your thoughts in the comment section. I really enjoy reading your comments, seriously guys. So if you have any kind of feedback, then please tell me. Other than that, please stay safe guys, and peace. See you next time.